Hello everyone. Good morning. Good evening to all the members who are joining from different time zones. Maybe good afternoon also, but there are any members from the other time zones. So we will get started. Let's get started. So I would like to first introduce myself. Before I introduce, I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Can someone confirm?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, first of all, thanks for joining. It's early morning for the members who are in India, 7 o'clock. Thank you for joining. For the members from the US time zone, taking out your time after your office or after your schedule and listening to this demo is appreciated. So, just starting about myself, this is Vishnu. I totally have 10 years, 1 month experience so far on different DevOps stacks. I'm a multi-cloud DevSecOps reliability engineer. That is my role in my current firm. So I take care of the AWS DevOps, the Azure DevOps, the site reliability engineering related work in my project as well. So just to give us a small introduction about myself, I've started my career as a .NET developer for the first couple of months. Then I wanted to do something different because it wasn't quite exciting for me during that time. At that point of time, a small hackathon happened in my office. As part of that, they wanted us to learn a tool and do something within the tool in a matter of 2 days. So just out of sake of doing something different, I just went to that hackathon in my office, and that is what led me to the position I'm currently, where my complete career, my complete role has been moved to the DevOps field. So the hackathon was on a tool called VSTS, Visual Studio Team Services. So they wanted to publicize more, they wanted to see the features, they wanted to see the benefits. So they started as a hackathon. Then we did some POCs, we have showcased to the members, and they got impressed. Then they told us to work a little more, work a little more. And eventually I ended up teaching VSTS to my complete previous service line of 700 members. So, yep, that was a quite a year for me. And I started moving into DevOps. So then the VSTS tool was renamed to Azure DevOps around 2018, 2019 time-ish. So that is called as Azure DevOps tool. Then I had to move as part of my client requirement. We got a requirement on AWS DevOps. We had to work on AWS DevOps. Then they wanted us to, a single person should be doing Azure Infra, Azure DevOps, reliability engineer. So I ended up doing an infra engineering. So uh, it just started, as an interest. Then it became a little, learning habit for me, learning something new, learning the different tools, learning the technologies in the DevOps field. And that is where I started that passion of teaching. So during the COVID time, it was completely the way we work changed. So during the COVID time, I felt bored. So that is when I started teaching. So in Vizag, I used to teach. I'm from Vishakhapatnam. I'm from Geetam University, Vishakhapatnam. So I started teaching during the COVID times onwards, and I've been teaching for the last 4 years. So the teaching is the new what should I say, stress reliever for me. The new thing for me to look forward to at the start of the day when I give classes, when I give trainings, and when I give sessions. So yeah, looking forward to teach these complex, this hard and sometimes confused concepts into the most simplest form, into a form which each and everyone can understand, is the bottom line I'm looking for. So if there's a tagline on the way I teach, it would be simple, diagrammatic representation of understanding the concept and doing 90% in a practical way. doing everything in the most practical way possible is the way I would like to teach, and that is how the sessions would be held. The session would be completely done in a practical way with what should I say, with assignments, with topics, with the to do things on your side, so that both of us we would be there on the board. So with that, let's get started. Can I get a yes from all? Just maybe just type yes in the chat window if you're not comfortable, or
Yeah.
just you can
Yes, Vishnu, we are comfortable.
let's get started. Uh, so Harish, you joined one of the demo, right, Harish? Am I right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, okay. I just so let's get started. So Harish, it might be a little repetitive for you. So we would be having the session for the next 1 hour till 7:15 till 8:10, 8:15ish. I'll be giving a session. I would be giving a demo. And for the last 15-20 minutes, we'll be having the query session. And once it is done, from tomorrow onwards, the batch and the sessions all would start. And the typical way where I would like to where I would start is first we'll be starting with few questions. It's a small introduction I have given, but the training is for you, the session is for you. You are the ones who would be learning. So I would like to know a little bit about you. As the session start, we will be learning more about you, but initial days. So just three questions. What you're currently doing? The bigger question, why DevOps? The major question. And finally, expectations from the course. So here, like everyone, you can unmute like one by one, and you can just mention that I'm currently working. I'm trying to do a switch. I'm having X years of experience in this XYZ technology. I'm a tester. I'm a developer. I'm a support engineer. You can mention your roles. Then, most importantly, why DevOps? You might have heard from someone it's good, or you might have heard that okay, the demand is fine, or you might have heard that okay, it is something which doesn't require programming knowledge. So whatever your reason, I would like to understand your reason for the picking up Azure DevOps, and finally the expectations from the course. So we'll take a quick introduction. Maybe can someone kick start? You can unmute and you can just tell me your name. Anyone?
My name is Girish. Okay, currently, like I have around 12 years of experience in Microsoft technologies like .NET and all. So my company currently, like I mean, like my client currently, they are planning to upgrade all the things to Azure. From on-prem to Azure, they are planning to move. So I just wanted to get ready for those things. I mean, like pushing the code from GitHub to the Azure environment.
Okay. So basically client requirement. Got it.
Yeah, it's a client requirement, and out of the world also, like core.NET is moving, everything is moving to cloud technology. So I just want to upgrade myself.
Okay, so, thank you. And your expectations from the course.
I mean, like as of now, like a client, like they are planning to move the code from I mean, like through GitLab to Kubernetes. So not sure like if Kubernetes is covered in this syllabus. Just
Okay.
wanted on the
Okay, fine. So Kubernetes and learning and getting upskilled. Okay,
Yeah, Abhishek.
thank you, Gidesh. Anyone next? Let's do this quickly. Next.
Yes, my name is Gopal Krishna.
Hello, Gopal.
Hello.
Yes,
Yeah,
Gopal.
yeah, I have total 11.5 years experience in RPA technology. Yeah, in RPA, and career started with Java. That is a 3 years experience. But now after I switched in RPA technology.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, now I'm looking for this DevOps for career growth.
Okay.
Yeah, my expectations is I'm also so exposed on DevOps, so that is I need to improve the skills and everything in DevOps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
So,
all.
okay. Thank you. Thank you, Gopal.
Yeah.
Next. Harish, Piyush, Gopal Krishna. Vamsi Krishna, would you like to talk?
Good morning, sir.
You can just call me Vishnu.
I'm
Yes.
also working as a .NET developer and 3 years of experience, and I also wants to learn DevOps with Azure.
Okay. So, and your expectations, Vamsi.
Deployment of the applications and maintaining CI/CD like that, etc. and more.
Deployment. Okay. Good, clear cut goals. Anything else, Vamsi?
Nothing, sir.
Okay. Perfect.
And something
So,
related to SRE.
hey, so you're looking to SR. Yeah. Yep, I'll be as frank and as straight as possible. So, so let's get started. So, what you're currently doing, why DevOps and expectations from the course. So, typically these are the points I get, and one of the other reason why many people want to move to DevOps is they are not they are not into I am afraid of programming, and I would want to go into a tech without any major programming involved. So they wanted to move into the tech side, but without any program language. Like they have this, a mental barrier that okay, I'm afraid of coding. I can't write these big lines of code and all. So for the members, some members, they be open and they say that this is the reason why they would like to move to DevOps, and some say that demand, and some would say project requirement. Some would say that okay, DevOps, they would want to move to a role where they do the development and also would like to do the DevOps related pipelines on their own, and have that additional upskilling as part of their resume. And some members, the clear cut goal is they would want this training to help in the interviews. They would want to do that. So from my side, so let's see how we will be getting to these data points, and we will get started. So first, let's start with why DevOps. The reason why DevOps is being preferred more in the current market. You might have seen this famous is that girl smiling and the house is burning on the back. So there's a famous. disaster occur. So here, so there's a famous thing in the software field. I think many members are there here who are having experience. So whenever you go to a developer and whenever you go to an admin team, they have this thing where developer is someone who writes the code and admin is someone who creates the infra, maintains the infra, do the deployment and all. So we know their roles. So generally what would happen, they each have some sort of blame game where they say that, okay, I have written the code and I have created a package and I share the package to you. You're deploying this in your infra. The admin team deploys this in their infra. And if something is not working, if something is not working, they would say that my infrastructure is perfectly working fine. Only after installing the new package, everything is not working. The issue is not with my infra, but with your package. And this is not a good package. And the admin team will have a blame game with the developer team. Developer will say that, no, it's not my mistake. It is your thing. You should control it. I don't have anything, and it's I think it's working perfectly fine in my local machine. I can show you in my local machine how perfect it is working. Something is not good at your infra side. Please do your check on that. So lot of blame game, like this is your issue, it's my issue, this is your issue, it's my issue. So lot of these things happen when these type of issues would come. And finally, at the end of the day, who the person would be the most suffered? It would be our clients. Clients are the ones who would suffer because the issue is not getting resolved and it's getting delayed. It is not having a good performance. So the behavior is not good. I mean, the clients would be unhappy with this sort of behavior. So what happened? Because developers mindset is having one type of mindset. It's like creation, doing something new, coming up with new functionality, writing the code. Admin thing is like, if it works, don't touch. But developers mindset is create new or create something new, do something new functionality. So that would the different mindsets of people be. So there is a mindset challenge. Then there was a time where the developer didn't know in which where the deployment is going on. The admin team doesn't know when the code when the code check-ins are completed and when they can get the package. There is a transparency. The transparency within the project is not there. So they wanted to have a little more transparency in the project. They wanted someone who could bridge the gaps between the things. They wanted a mindset where automation is in place, where they wanted people to think from an automation point of view, everything to be automated, everything to be written in such a way that it works seamlessly in whichever environment they do. Let it be Ubuntu, let it be Windows or any other OS, it has to run seamlessly wherever they run the pipelines. So they wanted to come up with a new thing. That is where the term DevOps has been coined. The term DevOps came into picture around this time, where they wanted first to understand the requirements properly. They wanted to understand the requirements what we get from the clients in an easy understanding way. Then to create them into the tasks, to convert these requirements into the tasks. And once the tasks are written, writing the code, where we write the code and developers do write the code. Once the code is written, ensuring that all the type of code related security scans are being done. They don't want the code to have some flaws. They don't want the code to have some bugs. They want the code which is written having all the relevant. These scans are called as vigilant, sonar cube, different type of source code analyzer, static analyzer, secret checker, image scanner. They're like different types of scans. But the main goal is ensuring that the code which is written is having the highest security as much as possible. Once this is done, doing CI/CD, where we'll discuss more, doing CI/CD, where automatically once these things are done, automatically code should be built, code should convert it into a package. That package should be deployed in a server using an automated approach, which is the CI/CD. Once the CI/CD is done, it should automatically do the testing. Once the testing is done, both the manual and the automation test, it should take a feedback from the clients. It should get a sort of feedback from the clients and checking whether everything is looking good or if they have any feedback. And depending upon the feedback, again, the requirements would come. Again, the tasks would come. Again, developers will write the code. Again, the security scans, the CI/CD, the testing, the feedback, and again, the loop continues. The loop continues continuously. And this process is something which the DevOps team members have to automate. We are involved in this, and this is the symbol of DevOps also. The DevOps logo is generally referred with this infinite symbol: plan, code, build, test, release, deploy, operate, and monitor. Okay, I missed the operate and monitor word also. We like once it is deployed, doing the monitoring is also there as part of the flow. Where they wanted once the deployment is done. Once the deployment is done, operate and monitor. If something happens, you should get automatically alerts and all. So this thing should happen. So they wanted someone to do this. So here, I'm not a big fan of definitions. So let me just search for the DevOps definition. So in very simpler words, DevOps, it is not the wordings. Focus on the wordings. It is a new deployment approach, development approach. It is not like a technology. It's a approach which should emphasize a collaboration, automation, and continuous delivery of high quality products to the customers quickly and efficiently. How do we ensure collaboration? By having all the required business analysts, developers, security team, DevOps team, admin team, clients, testing team, having everyone on the same boat will give us more collaboration. Automating this complete flow will help us in automations, doing continuous delivery of high quality products. When you run this loop multiple times, in dev environment, we might have 100 issues, but later in the second phase, you might have 50 issues, and later you might have only 3 or 4 issues. So ensuring that we deliver high quality products by running in a efficient and quick approach. We just don't want this to take like months and months. It should happen every second. Every second a new version should come. Every second the deployment should happen automatically. Every second the testing should be done automatically. This is what DevOps is. And to remember in very simpler terms, and I like to use this phrase. So DevOps It is just not about, I mean, there is a general thing where DevOps is like, okay, learn this tool, learn that tool, learn this tool, learn that tool. But after you learn the tools, you need to bring inside the project a transformation, a cultural shift, because we are in the mindsets of, okay, this is development team, this is admin team, but working together, working as a one team. We need not just the tools, but using the tools, we need to set up a process. A process, for example, uh, setting up a branching strategies and ensuring that all the developers check in that. Once it is done, it should be pushed to this. The task should be created in this approach using epic features and all. Now, once the testing is done, the testing should be automatically executed like this. So setting up some process which would be followed by the all the people in the project. Let it be a BSA, let it be tester, let it be developer, and ensuring that if all the people follow the process which are set by the DevOps team, by using the tools, we can deliver a high quality product in the quickest, in the most secure and efficient way as possible. Okay. So on a very high terms, just wanted to give a quick introduction to DevOps, just as making it as simple as possible for everyone to understand, and for the members who are listening to recordings also. This is the a small introduction about DevOps, and DevOps is becoming more popular because they wanted one person to do all, or they want. I'm not the development, but they wanted, since the movement is being from the edge on-prem to the cloud. What happened is previously, I mean, there used to be this infrastructure where we used to have, where we need to maintain the infrastructure. Everything used to handled by us. But as the movement happened to cloud, infrastructure guy, I mean, if he has the concepts of infra, if it can be done with button clicks. So we just need a person who can do that, a person who can create the infra by just running some commands, by just clicking on a couple of buttons. So that is where the movement has shifted and the movement is there. And the reason for having a general demand among the clients is since everything is moving to the cloud, and in the world where test matches are not getting popular, in the world where T20 T20 matches are getting popular. Why? Because of the time. We don't want to spend that much time. We want it quickly. We want it. If we want it, it should be done right now. The deliveries are getting done in 10 minutes. So the companies are getting more competitive. The companies want to release the new features. The companies want to launch the product in the quickest time possible. And that would happen generally quicker in a cloud-based environment. In a cloud-based environment, more features would be there, more compatibility, more integrations, more what should I say, more features, so that companies are moving to cloud. And the movement to cloud has started from long time back, but eventually all the members moved to some sort of the cloud environment for this. And once the movement is done to the cloud, the deployment should also be done automatically. Every second, Facebook deploys thousands of packages. I mean, will not even be aware, but we are doing that. And internally, the pipelines which we create, and we are responsible also to maintain the big infrastructure. So that is why we need a good knowledge on Azure DevOps to understand one of the most important skill in the complete DevOps and reliability engineering world. So coming from a career growth point of view, yes, every person, irrespective of being a developer or a admin or an operations or a business analyst, if you can use the tools, like around 2018, 19, how many members are comfortable in using a phone pay? we were reluctant to link our account to some third-party application which is not a government-based. We were not ready to do that. We were not ready to accept that. We were not, like, okay, having an app and doing a transaction instantly. Like, I was not comfortable at that time. But right now, every person is comfortable. Every person is doing it. And even if a new tool comes in the market, like when Cred came, we were not aware of the UI. But eventually, we learned. We clicked the buttons, and we were able to do it. Similarly, DevOps has multiple tools. If you just learn the concept for one tool, you can apply the similar concept in all the other tools. DevOps has a lot of tools in the market. The intent of the training is at least to cover one thing in each category, like for building, for testing, for deploying Azure DevOps, for running the pipelines, monitoring using the Azure Monitor, managing using the Azure, creating Azure alerts. So the intent is the way the course curriculum is created is it is focusing more on the different streams, understanding what each stream does, and teaching you the concept in this one. So here, what our intent is as part of the, okay, let me just take down things which you completed, moving to the cloud. Uh, so from a career growth point of view, we have discussed. So learning DevOps with Azure. Uh, yeah. So here, as part of the DevOps, we don't have any major like I mean, you might have a feeling that okay, I should understand that development, then only I can become a DevOps because DevOps has the word dev. So we have that impression that okay, I should learn dev also. But no, you need not know .NET, you need not know Java. Having a little knowledge would help, but it is a bare minimum knowledge where okay, a code is written, how do you run the code? How do you run a .NET code? How do you run a Java code? If you have a minimal knowledge of that, that is enough. You need not go to okay, .NET, .C# file, writing the class, writing the modules. You need not have in-depth knowledge. You need to just have a high-level knowledge on that, and we can learn DevOps with that. And generally, there is another question, like should I move to AWS DevOps or Azure DevOps? Because both are there in the market. And as a trainer, if I say that, okay, Azure DevOps is very best, it is second to none, it has the best thing, it would be like I'm faking. But let me search Naukri. I'm just taking Naukri, not LinkedIn because I need to sign in again and stuff. So here, AWS DevOps has these many job opportunities. Can anyone guess how many job opportunities Azure DevOps might have? Just take a wild guess. Just take a
Should be
guess.
more openings.
I'm sorry.
There should be more openings than AWS.
Yes. So just a rough number.
Maybe
3,000,
70.
4,000.
Oh, thousands.
Okay, let's check. So it is like 5,000, like near to 6,000 opportunities. So it's more than double. It is like 2.3x times the number of opportunities what we have on the AWS DevOps. The intent over here of showing the number is not to demean AWS DevOps, but when you are starting your career and if your project is more on the .NET side, going towards the Microsoft looks more relevant because companies would move more to Azure, Microsoft related on. And first, we should jump into a field where it has more opportunities, become good in that, and then learn AWS DevOps and become a multi-cloud DevOps engineer role. Because right now the market is in such a way that if you they're keeping the storage on AWS, they're using the AI related service from Google, they're using the SQL, Power BI related data analytics from Azure. So truly, as we go on, companies would become and projects would become more of multi-cloud projects. And as a DevOps person, we should become more comfortable in all. So the recommendation for me is first, from my side is in respect of this thing. First, learn Azure DevOps, then learn AWS DevOps. Then we should focus on site reliability engineering. So these are the things on how our career path should be there. SRE. Because I know one person of 6 years, six and a half, my friend, he got a Salesforce job with 42 lakhs package in Salesforce with just 6 years. And that's a decent amount for a 6 years person. So because he learned he was a multi-cloud DevSecOps engineering. So having learning a little bit about security, like how to ensure that the pipelines are more secure. So you can learn just try to involve security also within your goal. So this is how which the planning should be there as part of your goal. So this is more about DevOps and why DevOps is there and which cloud to pick up. Now, coming from the expectations from the course, the Kubernetes. So like I would be modifying it. I would be adding the Kubernetes also. So for someone who's asking, I would like to teach Kubernetes also. So, but for that, we just need one Azure account with yeah, creating a free trial account, and I hope everyone can do it. You can have, most of us have a credit card. So just with a credit card, if you we need to just open an account. So with that, we can learn Kubernetes also. And the way I help you in your learning. Okay, let's focus on the learning part. The way I help the learning, everything would be done in a practical way. Everything would be done in a whiteboard sort of sessions. I'm not a fan of PPTs. Absolutely, there wouldn't be even a single PPT given. Not even a single PPTs would be given. Maybe one topic, but mostly not even a single PPT. I'm not a big fan of these big PPTs, nor these big Word documents, which will go on and on and on. But I tend to teach the main concepts repetitively, ensure that you understand the concepts in the most simplistic way. And when I teach, I would like to teach you also in a way where I can teach in the simplest with simplest examples. Kubernetes children book. What is that? Yeah. So I like to teach in a way with using some cartoons. Like if I teach in Kubernetes, I would like to teach using these different cartoonistic related images so that it would be more interactive and ensuring that it is more of a visual representation is there, because the things which we see we will remember it for a longer term. So some with visual learning and all, and mostly it would be assignment driven class. Apart from few theoretical classes, every day a small assignment would be given. The assignment would be marked like 1.1. For example, topic is 1.1, 1.7. Every day, once our class is done, you'll be getting an assignment like this 1.1, 1.7. And I personally encourage everyone to post the screenshots in the WhatsApp group. And before you sleep for the day, you should post. I encourage everyone to post that respective assignment screenshot in the WhatsApp group or in a GitHub place. We will discuss on that, but it would be more of an assignment driven. Either we will be taking a GitHub project flow where we'll be creating a GitHub project and that we'll be creating tasks. The tasks would be assigned on your name. We would be taking a sprint-based approach. For every 2 weeks, we'll be having a session. Every 2 weeks, we can go, we can check, we can have a retrospective. So that is all driven as per the students, as per everyone's thing. But I'm flexible to take it as the way we go. But from a learning point of view, this is what I would like to teach. And mainly for the last couple of months, what I've done is I'm teaching also the tools using AI. So for every tool, they started coming an AI version, but which is not being used in the real-time projects. But still, small POCs, small examples, the tool names we will show you. And while teaching, I'll show you how to use the tools to do the task in the quickest way possible. Because every task what we do, we need to do it in the quickest way possible. How to do that? I'll be using the different tools for learning DevOps using the AI. So that is one example. So just checking it down. So yeah, Kubernetes, yes, we'll be teaching. Learning, this is the way I teach. Coming to upskilled person, like I mean, we'll be covering more of technical shortly, like the topics, the tools, and everything involved. But coming from the tools point of view, I would like to teach all the tools which have a demand in the current market because there are like n number of tools. But having a good knowledge on Azure Infra, having a good knowledge on Azure DevOps, having a good knowledge on Terraform, having a good knowledge on Docker and Kubernetes is one of the main prerequisite. And my intent is to focus more on those tools. And how do I get an exposure to DevOps without me practically doing it? So that is the reason why we do it practically. And you get more exposure, you learn more when you make some silly mistakes. So in the assignments, what I do, I intentionally make some errors. I will not tell you before, but I'll make some errors. I will check in the wrong code. I will check in the wrong file. And it's up to you to do the troubleshooting, identify the issue, and fix the issue. In the subsequent classes, we will discuss. But I try to mimic a real-time one by making a mistake which I know, which will not done, but you should identify and fix it using your own knowledge, using the documents, or using AI, whatever it is, it's okay. But if you can do that and do the troubleshooting, that would be the real-time exposure I can give because I would be sharing you the real-time scenarios. We will be making some mistakes from that. We will do the troubleshooting and we will learn. So this is how we bring exposure because in interviews, there would be a question where, okay, what is the issue you have faced during the Kubernetes and how did you fix it? And how are you ensuring that it will not again happen in your production environment? So these are the typical, like a small question which they'll ask in an interview. So if you have some knowledge, I mean, we just learn, we just go to a course, we just learn, and we just learn the concepts and we'll go back and we will sit. But they'll ask you questions on how did you fix that issue? What happened? How did you resolve it? We should be ready with those type of questions also. So having this troubleshooting is something which is a major prerequisite for a DevOps engineer. Coming for an application deployment, we would be doing application deployment and CI/CD using Jenkins and Azure DevOps. We'll be creating Azure pipelines using the YAML-based approach, using something called classical editor approach. In both the approaches, we'll do a deployment and we will complete the project. So uh, I'll come to the SRE part, but coming to the interviews. Coming to the interviews, how do I help in the interviews? First, I would be sharing you the tools which I used, AI tools which I used to update the resume, AI tools to take mock interviews, and personally, I will take 2 interviews per person for every person who joined as a pro bono, a one-on-one for every person during the second half of the. Just give me 1 minute, I'll get my charger. Just give me a moment. Okay, I'm just charging. So where was I? Okay. In the interviews part, for every person, we'll be taking 2 interviews per person, and in the mid, what we would be the way I generally would like to teach is, so the questions and all is not a one-time thing, but we will be sharing one Excel sheet with the general Q&A questions which are generally asked in interviews. So we'll have an Excel sheet which would contain the general list of questions which they'll ask for each one, and we'll discuss those questions. Those questions would be shared at the start of a topic, and during the end of a certain topic, we'll be discussing on the questions in our one of our class. So that is how I would personally want to help in your interviews, and this is the way we do it. Coming to an SRE, we would be touching a flavor of SRE, but SRE is more of an advanced topic. I'm not sure who asked this question. Vamsi. So SRE is a little advanced topic, and initially when we are starting jumping into this DevOps world, I suggest first learn the DevOps, learn a little bit on infra, then move to site reliability engineering. I'll tell you the reason. Because the site reliability engineer's major role is the production should always be up. If the production is down for any reason, first we'll get a call. We would be the first members who will be getting a call, and we need to fix that issue immediately. It is a little advanced senior role, and that is the reason why we generally, as part of a thing, we'll be focusing more on Azure DevOps. Okay, just to give you a little idea, just so in the current market, the roles are divided like this. So we have someone called an infra engineers. These are the members who only focus mostly on the infra, creating the infrastructure, maintaining the infrastructure. We can call them as operations also. Someone who focus more on DevOps, where they focus on CI/CD pipelines, doing multiple integrations and all. And then we have SRE, site reliability engineers. So in companies like, for example, TCS, generally there would be different roles, and they focus more on having many people do a certain task. So that is how the TCS thing is there, where we have multiple members. But when you go into more bigger roles like Salesforce or EPAM systems, the way it will happen is they understand that you're a DevOps engineer, but we should have a flavor of infra. Or sometimes they say that on the infra side, creating the VM, managing the Azure cloud is your thing, but the networking part, the security part, will give it to someone else. You need not know this networking part. You need not know the security part. You just need to have a good knowledge of the infra. Sometimes they'll say that, okay, there is a dedicated site reliability engineering team, but sometimes small tickets you might get. You need to focus on that. Sometimes it would be like in certain startups, they would expect the same person to do everything. They would expect one person only to do the infra, to do the SRE, to do the DevOps. Everything should be done by one person. So that is how it is currently going on. Just give me 1 minute. There's someone at the door. Just give me 1 minute. So, yeah, so this is how it is. But from a training point of view, we will cover more on the Azure DevOps, and we will give you a flavor of infra, teaching you on Azure infra, Azure networking, Azure storage, Azure cloud, because DevOps, at the end of the day, we have to deploy a package. The package would be deployed on the infra. So we will be teaching you the infra part and the DevOps part. learning this infra would be a prerequisite for the SRE. But I want to be frank. I don't want to just, I mean, just for the sake of saying, I don't want to say and not do it. So Vamshi, I mean, we will be giving an SRE flavor, but not the actual SRE. Vamshi is still there. Hope it made sense, Vamshi.
Yes, sir. It's good, sir. Yeah, it's good.
So that is how the current market is. There's one more role. I'm not complicating it, but just for your knowledge, there's someone called platform engineers. So this is more of an R&D type, where in a certain company there would be dedicated platform engineers. What they would do is, for example, there's a monitoring tool. There is a tool like Azure Monitor. There is Prometheus, Grafana, Loki. There is ELK Stack. Different tools and technologies are there. These platform engineers will research on all the tools which are available. And for the complete company, they will purchase a tool. And all the projects, all the internal projects which are there, these internal projects, all the teams, the tools which these teams have to be used would be decided by the platform engineer. Platform engineer is someone, okay, they will purchase a certain tool, make the changes accordingly, and then they'll say that, okay, as a company, we would be going to cloud and we would not be using Azure Monitor, we would be using open source tools like Prometheus, Loki, Grafana. Or they'll say that we want more advanced and high security. We would use Datadog. I'm okay for to pay the license. So this team will procure the license, and individual project would pay back that money. So that is how it happens internally. But platform engineer role is also good, but it involves development. It involves having the bigger picture on the complete DevOps world and having more information. So that is how the platform engineer's role is there generally in the market. But number of opportunities are less, and the skills, the roles and responsibilities are different for this role. So here, this is how we touch on the different topics and we go. So I mean, what we'll be teaching, you can easily understand from the topics what we have. But just to give you a high level information, and since most of you are having good, decent experience, so we'll not go with the one type of law what I wanted. So first, we would be teaching scripting. As part of that, we learn Linux scripting. And then from a, what do I say, from a SCM, from a source code management point of view, we will do Git, local Git, we will do GitHub, we will do Azure repos. So as part of the SCM tools, these are the three things we'll be doing: the Git, the GitHub, and the Azure repos. Once this is done, we will be learning Azure infrastructure, where what is VMs, what are the different compute options we have, what are the different network options we have, how do you store the data, and all. We'll be covering on different topics like this during the classes. And once this is done, we will focus on the CI/CD using the tools of Jenkins and Azure CI/CD pipelines, the Azure DevOps part. Once this is done, we will learn Docker. Next, we will learn Kubernetes. Next, we will be learning Terraform. We would be learning about Ansible. And in the overall thing, we would be learning the troubleshooting. And finally, the projects. So typically, this is how it is divided. Would be having the training for near like 2 to 2.5 months. And in this thing, we'd be covering these topics. So first, we'll start with the basics about the scripting because we need to have knowledge on scripting as part of our course curriculum. When you go into real-time project, you'd only be having this field. There'll not be a mouse icon. There will not be anything. You'll be giving you'll ask for a server and they'll give you a server. And in terms of a server, this is what they mean by a server. You'll not have access to anything else. You can only see a terminal, a command prompt, and everything which you do has to be done in the form of commands. You would want to see the files and folders. You would like to create one folder. You want to go inside that folder. Everything which is done have to be done in the form of a commands. And in that scripting, Linux is a important one. So as part of that, we'll be showing you the Linux commands, how to operate a Linux machines in the scripting part. Then how to create a Git code, how to have a code in our local machines, how to push that code into the GitHub, how to push the code into Azure reports, how to pull the code, how to create the branches, how to manage the branches, focusing on the branching strategies, creating different flows, ensuring that all the respective process is set for the developers to work. That is something we learn as part of SCM and Azure repos. Coming to the Azure infra, like this is a prerequisite. Everyone should have Azure account created, and that can be created with a credit card. So everyone needs to have an account. In that, we will show you how to create Azure infrastructure using a graphical user interface approach, using a terminal approach, using the Terraform. So we would be creating it manually. We'll be creating it semi-manually. Then we'll be creating it completely automatically. So that is how we will be doing it. We will be doing the CI/CD. This would be done in a manual approach first on how we do in our local machines, then on how to use it via commands, and then how to do it from a YAML based approach, which is the automated approach. We will focus on this. And now in the market, recently, like the Docker, the Kubernetes, the Terraform, these three topics are getting highlighted. So would like to focus some time on these topics also and show you, okay, how to containerize your application. Once the application is containerized, how to deploy these applications into Azure App Service, how to create a Kubernetes environment and manage your load. So currently IPL match is going on. When you see an IPL match, just before the toss, you see like 5 lakh members, 10 lakh members. Once near the toss time, it will be like 90 lakhs, 1 crore. And during the peak of the match, it would be like 5 crores, 7 crores, 10 crores. Those many members are watching the match concurrently. And how is this being handled internally? It is being handled internally by a tool called Kubernetes. They'll use some Kubernetes related software and ensure that even if multiple members access, crores of member access, the infrastructure would be scaled up automatically. And once the match is down, the infrastructure would be scaled down automatically by using a Kubernetes based environment. Next, how to automate creating the infra using Terraform, how to manage multiple missions using Ansible is something what we will learn as part of course curriculum. So these are the first 9 topics. Coming to the final projects, just give me a couple of more minutes and we are done. Thank you for listening patiently so far. So coming down to the projects, the way I would like to teach the projects is first, we would have one project on the overall thing where we will focus on that project would have the combination of all the topics what we have done, which is the Git, the Azure infra, with Azure Devops, with the Docker, with with Kubernetes. Okay, I missed one more topic. We will be doing monitoring using Azure Monitor, Azure Log Analytic Workspace, Application Insights, Azure Alerts, Azure Cost Analytics, Azure Cost Alerts, and also Datadog. So we monitoring part is very vast and we'll be covering these topics, which I just mentioned. So Kubernetes plus Terraform plus monitoring. This is how I would like to teach by having one mega project with everything what we have learned so far. This project would be having everything and we can use this. This will give you a complete picture. And the second project is complete Azure DevOps YAML CI CD pipelines. Complete, where it would be in the YAML approach would have the Git, the code scans, deploying to dev, deploying to QA environment, deploying to stage environment, and deploying to prod environments automatically using a YAML based approach. It would have the complete flow. It would have the complete flow of the Git, the code scans, the environments, deployments also. So this both projects will give you a complete picture by having in this particular flow. So this is the way we would be focusing on, and we will be taking it forward. So with that, I would pause it for now. From a demo point of view, we will keep the time more for the queries and questions which you have. Any questions, any queries?
Access will be from Monday to Friday, right?
Saturday, Girish. Like
Monday to Saturday.
Yeah, Monday to Saturday. I mean, generally Saturdays we have some more time, right? So I
Okay.
generally like to take a little more time on Saturdays so that any queries which you have, anything which we discuss, we can focus more on Saturday. And typically the way the class goes is every day we'll be having 1 hour session. For the first 5 minutes, we will be having a recap of what we did yesterday. Any queries and questions by anyone will be discussed in the first 5 minutes. Then for the next 15 minutes, we'll be having a session. And again, in the last 5 minutes, we'll have a recap and any queries and questions. And on Saturdays, we'll be spending a little more time. I will generally be available for some more time. If you have any questions and queries or any of your personal things, like what is happening in your project, this is how you're planning, this is how you're doing it, any personal discussions would be done at that point of time with recording stopped on Saturdays. Because every person have their own things, right? So, and it's good to have a common discussion at that point of time on Saturdays without recording anything. So on Saturdays, I like not during the initial phase, but in the second half, we'll be having 1.5 hour classes on Saturdays. Yes. Any questions, any queries?
Yeah, hi Vishnu. Like how much opportunities is there? 10 plus years experience.
So for the 10 plus years of experience, I think so first, I mean, we shouldn't say that like there is one person who made the mistake saying that he has Azure DevOps knowledge for last 9 years, 10 years. But Azure DevOps just got launched 6 years back only. So we shouldn't make that mistake of doing it. We should like if you want to completely shift your career, we can mention that we have worked on some older deployment tools, then move to VSTS, then move to Azure DevOps. We can mention like that. And from an what should I say? From an opportunity point of view, we would be coming in the senior and lead related roles where the DevOps is moving towards more towards IC based roles where we need to create the Git, we need to create the pipelines, we need to create the infra. Everything should be done by us. So it depends on you. Like if you want to create like completely keep 10 or keep a relevant of 5 or 7 and then plan, it would be good. But I mean, as per my suggestion, the number of opportunities are the less, little less for the junior roles, but more for the senior roles and for the lead roles. I'm talking from an India point
Oh,
of view.
okay.
And for 10 years, I mean, like Salesforce have opportunities currently. EPAM has opportunities. Uh, TCS also recently released some opportunities. I mean, every company is releasing some of the other opportunities for the different types of roles what we have. JP Morgan had. I'm
Okay.
not on top of the market currently, but yeah, like there are decent number of opportunities.
Okay, Vishnu, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, yeah. Any basic questions, anyone, it's okay to ask. So I start little slow, but as the classes go on, I expect members to at least complete on the weekends because I know that everyone have their individual jobs on the weekdays. But at least by weekend, when a certain topic ends, either you should have the confidence that we can do it, or just do it practically and just post the screenshot in the WhatsApp group or in the project based group what we have. So that this will give you confidence and it'll also help me. Okay, where I'll be teaching, I'll be giving assignments, and once you do it, I'll get more confidence and I can teach more advanced, more scenario based questions for everyone. Any other questions? Any other queries? Okay. So just to sum up, diagrammatic, practical based sessions driven by assignments. So if someone is looking forward for the sessions in a more practical and a more practical approach with the tasks, everything, so we would be going in that particular flow of having the diagrammatic representation, having the flow, where by also inculcating AI related tools, by showing you the AI related tools, we will be future proof and also keeping in demand with the current requirement, we will be taking it forward. So if you like the session the way I have given it today, we will be going in a similar flow where I'll be teaching you by giving you some anecdotes like comparing Kubernetes with certain thing, comparing the second Azure DevOps project with a scene from Atadu Telugu movie, with a scene from movie. How do we compare that? Comparing it to Balaya Babu. Uh, so yeah, I try to give. I'm a movie buff. I watch a lot of movies, so I just tend to give certain examples, which would make more sense, and it will give you a bigger explanation in the shortest time possible by giving some references. Sorry if that you don't know that difference, but yeah, I will give you some references so that you can remember for a longer term. And this is how it is done. So yeah, from a demo point of view, we are done. The course content, you can get it from the admin team. They have the complete access. I don't have your number, so once the payment is done, then from that day onwards it would be me. But initially, yes, it would be with the admin team. You can reach out to the admin team if you have any queries, any questions, and yep. From tomorrow onwards, the sessions will start. So that's it from my side. If you have any queries, you can stay back. Otherwise, yep. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining, and have a good day. If you have any questions, stay back.
Yeah, no questions, sir. Thank you, Vishnu.
Thank you. Thank you, Girish.